At Radio Pacis, talk is part of the game. Debate and variety.
Yes, good evening, listener at Radio Pacis. Indeed, talk is part of the game, and this is a talk show that we promoted some time back. We did say from 7 p.m. up to 8 p.m. We're expecting guests for a talk show, and I'm glad I have right in the studio, right from PICOT. Yes, they will tell us what PICOT means, but we have guests from PICOT and CEHURD. Yes, from Maracha district local government as well. They'll be talking about community participation in a budgeting process. So they'll be telling us more about this, and you'll be part of this talk show by dialing our studio lines, which are 0793212162 and 0393273232. Also, we have the SMS line for you to send in your message. It is 07889564 and 94. Today is the 13th of November 2020. It's a Friday. My name is Chek. In the studio I have a couple of guests. One of them is Mr. Ogwang Christopher. Yes, he's called Ogwang Christopher. He's the programs officer and the project coordinator that is for DINU. I don't know what DINU means. You'll also tell us. You're most welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. And then Mr. Metaloro Halid is also another homeboy from West Nile. In the studio is the program manager, PICOT. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Chek.
Yes, another also in the studio is Abaru Stella. Abaru Stella is the district community development officer, Maracha district. Abaru, you're most welcome.
Thank you, Chek, and good evening, listener.
Okay. Drichiro Harriet is also in the building. She's the community member from Atara sub-county. Please, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Lastly, we have Arubako. Yeah, Arubako Kenneth. You're also in the studio from Oleba. Please, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, so these are the guests we have in the studio. You'll be actually listening to them and asking questions to them. Right, we are talking about budgeting process. Let's have an introduction from Mr. Ogwang Christopher. Please, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, listeners. I'm happy to be here. My name is Ogwang Christopher. As already said, I work with CEHURD. CEHURD is Center for Health, Human Rights and Development. It is a human rights organization, advocacy and research. Those are our main areas of work. And we are in Kampala, but working in over 14 districts in Uganda. This project that brings us here today is DINU. DINU is a development initiative for Northern Uganda. That is what DINU means in full. This program is a government program with support from European Union that is being implemented in 33 districts and in 5 sub-regions of Acholi, Lango, Karamoja, Teso, and West Nile. The main objective of this program is to consolidate stability in northern Uganda, eradicate poverty, under nutrition, strengthen the foundation of sustainability for social inclusive development. That's the main objective of this DINU program. And it is multisectoral. The approach is multisectoral and handling mainly areas of food, security, nutrition, livelihoods, infrastructure, transport, water and energy as the second area. And the last area is good governance. So CEHURD and PICOT, we are doing some work around good governance. And our main focus under this is to increase downward accountability mechanisms through strengthening the role of CSOs. These are civil society organizations, media, other local actors, communities, community members, in local governance and the promotion of accountable but also responsive service delivery. This is what is our main objective as one of the grantees implementing this big government project program. The title of this project, for that matter, is Integrating Legal Empowerment and Social Accountability for Improved Local Government Performance and Governance in the districts of Koboko and Maracha. So for us, together with the PICOT, we are mainly working in two districts, that is in Koboko and Maracha. And the select sub-counties where we are in, for Koboko we are working in Lobule sub-county, North Division, and Kuluba. That is for Koboko. While in Maracha we are in Tara, Olufe, and Oleba. This project is 30 months. We started off in January this year, but of course, as you are all aware, we had disruptions of COVID and so much work has not been done. But of course, with the adjustments and the SOPs now in place, we have started doing some work, of course, adhering to the provisions and the guidance from Ministry of Health. We've started doing some work. So this is briefly about this project, but also maybe just to add something small about CEHURD. We have 4 program main areas where we work that I think is important to let our listeners know. We have a program called Strategic Litigation that purely does litigation. They go to court, provide legal aid services for communities, and our special area of work is purely health. We want to realize social justice in health. That is what legal aid does, and the strategic litigation. We also have another program called Community Empowerment Program, which does the mobilization and sensitization of communities on some of these issues. We also have a research department, which does also generate information and knowledge for us that informs our interventions. Also, they also do some work on policy to enable us engage the MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies effectively. We also have the advocacy department or program that engages the different stakeholders as we work in the different programs and projects that we do at CEHURD. So in this project, we are working with PICOT, and I think we have a program manager from PICOT who can take on from here just to our listeners.
Yes, but where is your location? Like, where is your office in the region?
Yes,
at CEHURD.
In the region, we don't have a field office in the region, but we are working through our partners, PICOT. PICOT is a community-based organization in Koboko, but doing a lot of work in the West Nile districts.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ogwan Christopher, the program manager and project coordinator for DINU. What does DINU mean, by the way?
DINU is Development Initiative for Northern Uganda.
Okay.
Development Initiative for
All right.
Uganda.
Thank you. Now let's cross over to Mr. Metaloro Khalid, the program manager, PICOT. Yes, how do you coordinate with the other side, and how are you working with them? Maybe also tell us more about the empowerment and social accountability, implementation. I mean, what are some of the activities that you're working on? You're welcome.
Thank you. I want to use local language. I do. Okay. I'll mix.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, listeners. My name is Metaloro Khalid, like earlier the moderator had said. And we're here with CEHURD. I work with PICOT. PICOT is Partners in Community Transformation. It's an indigenous organization. We started like another organization, but now we are steadily growing, and we are now able to enter into marriages with organizations like CEHURD that are at national level and so on. This project we are implementing called LESA. LESA is actually an abbreviation. Legal Empowerment and Social Accountability. It is under the DINU program. It falls under the focus area, the third pillar of the DINU program, which is good governance. So under the LESA project, we are doing what we call the LESA is divided into two. There's the legal, there's the strengthening capacity of the legal part of it, what we call legal empowerment, but it's also accountability. So when we talk about the legal empowerment, we're talking about strengthening capacity of people to exercise their rights, either as individuals or members of the community. It's like demanding for service in short. That is the legal empowerment of it. And then social accountability part of it is about the approaches that we use as a community to build accountability and rally the people around our community. I want to use the local example. For example, government has very many programs. Community malaria.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Nisu school kuba sikira. Sada ba fefa sikira na na program malaria kan kuba bridges kede. Opa farke da adipini or bitini. Deneko. And how are people being part of this kind of works happening? Yes, kaya onje obikiche kudu ko dera kiyo chokeyo. Yeah, I didn't in the other say, the onji, adni any other, but a school si onji, committees kidaleti, Yiki Mo, school Montera, Kaki Montera, that is also accountability. They kind of want to be able to get people, duty bearers in that matter, to be able to be responsible, account to them how these services have been used. And then another part of it is also accountability is creating platforms where people can be able to exercise. Take about community meeting, organize leaders, kids, communities, people. You want a minority has come over, government there. Ella also Titakichi, then go. I'll let school CDP, I'll faki CDP, I'll hospital kid there who want to build hospital schools and so on, all those things. And then having time to sit with community and be able to tell them out of the things we're able to do. These ones were done, these ones are not done because of A, B, C, D, and this. This is part of social accountability. So, I found that once you don't do social accountability in the back at TC, those are the examples I can best give reference to. Otherwise, this is the project we are doing. Project Malaya, I'm a big activity in Gabo, and the activity Alora Gore, I'm a kind of district inception meeting. It has all been district, I'm a success as EU Vora. Santa Gogotapi 223 euros. Yeah, Santa size Dapini 1,222 euros. Sandra Mazukera Amake Rayo Zingazo and Devene Amayaki Bezuline activity Muria on. So that brief man Jay a favore Alan and Ayo for Kevinera and then Raba Zikiro Sa Ekera Ayarma. Your money su community malaria mazikin je challenge Kyola Mandra your BP planning be can go budgeting be ngone lere wavenda mani pata fit nera denva. Yeah, I think that is where I Mr. Gwang, you pardon me a bit. I like to touch base with the listeners by using the local language, and that's why I switched.
I think that's necessary.
Yeah.
I thought when I mentioned your name as Metaloro, when you said local language, I thought you were going to talk in Kakwa.
Okay, Kakwa, no, now I can speak in Kakwa, but it's fine. We can mix. Yesterday we were also on another radio. We did the local
for Kakwa people.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Key issues from communities, they're there. But we need to know them. What are some of the key issues in the community there?
Yeah, among the key issues from the community is issue of participation in the planning and budgeting process due to lack of information. Paniki otitabanoti ele alalosi government malaria by mutitoti amavoda oporo de kiduzu fezo government evo paniki za koriba niki process ni dongware kan ko de dengware ko
adosite
atin adosiare yon ke diminga alore alo richote alo baki malo inudu kodeko
energization
eso to takora ai rizure baki vini isi iso kanoko sekesisle lezu nizo adeni ye biani arko
sikima
ko bakelo kamina nyabo youth kifi center ngone ya valley chote ya zere challenges we na manu kan ki afi na manu suri feedback kan ko uduko fezo vole iyo ka kete baka yo tibo ka ichata baka village meetings ki ebo baka yor ki fe ki mu village ya parish ya sub county district le iyo te wana man fe ler yar ke bani yara kun go ke bani yakor kun go ki yare uduko de chazo community village channel na ovoni piriku so a family that even happy near vafafe then devenu leaders bani chance fezo ya njezo adipie dileka tede idri kan bana opopea kane azi supi ma pepa sia ngon de tepe si se suzu pie kanele alo malea kanko mbana malea palo kwalo rezo imuzo batini yor kinjezo asko ikamu yoki mingi eta arajo maleka ikalo eta wuti siduzi fongalo imungalo baki zero jora yo min ne waro de karoke challenge dar karoke kan fiyo titular kar kiyo mina doctor zo de remove draro azia kavin bane rebane moral fera tazika na erdendene so there are issues and you are kill ka accumulate the affect service delivery na rate va service uptake so let's let us as my ba fesa ba pina dezo rezo ima leaders pe kanaroja kan jit kera la mazikia imuzu adezo imuzu yor male nazo yeah I think those are some of the issues that we have noted as key given that affected service uptake affected key and then baki ama community malada ama programs kan go ndoto tutitando ndo government ni ji community spin program ro kan imaza kozo alio drozo ngonde ke ban obini kiyo dunya toko yor maziki ba ji sab kon diara kamuchasi aguta de last community la maliade dere yonte ban la ke sasba kibo sas udu koni ki rezo ereki pirku arsquare mobilization ni choven chakura asko other structures ke grand that we have the parish chiefs, we have the LC1s, we have all these VHTs and so on. Mobilization still chako and then has been a money should be so far money as in gara the money super mazi the capacities as capacities kanako ontoa as in gazo cheta si diliban opope the others villager parisier ma haliarki as gama de mavud malia badli as ko peros da ekimu imi represente sa badi algarte sigare atelo ata haya
buada dibelen
buada di cheta se ya machota councilors ki pe ki o mertenga sabu ka ndero la denko so councilors ki amani musuru so far adan si amani jadi ki e fopi community malia mitina wana yer malia ki ya mami su ni councilor mazir ki ema iyo idi yeta community vini ngazo da malia imaza kozo chako icho tedele yo ibipi unite yo ki yazor pecho ni yete evde atale ba ko kaza korkingo ki arko e devini billion dollar alsko amadere period da dovra campaign go alsa ya maketa kin bakope is not a politics mare ko ben e ko badam malo fe general information ro ba fini le man ki ba man per ki choki yo ma vode por giniti e ki ka ki muri ale de base ta war da piane e ki ga ina refe e ki ga ovo do fe or ke olozo ya ma vode arki dikki ngando I think the key is so far mani suborke an activity as ke chiki mu community malada ma muke era den ba amoncho amdinga ko lo man sar seko.
Yes, you tell us about some of the planned activities later on.
Yeah.
That is Mr. Ogwang. But let's connect to one other person in the studio. That is actually this is Madam Abaro Stella, the District Community Development Officer of Maracha District. Madam, you've been so quiet for some time. You're welcome.
Thank you. I want to talk about how community members can benefit from government programs.
Yes.
How can we help our community members out there to benefit from these government programs that are currently running? One, we can best mobilize these communities and sensitize them using the community calendar. Sometimes our mobilizations don't yield successful because we don't dwell much on the community calendar. When, for example, you mobilize communities to gather in a parish center, like on a Wednesday, and that Wednesday is a big market day in that locality, you find all of them, most of them go to attend to trade and industry. So at the end of the day, you don't successfully carry out your sensitization. So as we do out community mobilization and sensitization, we need to focus on the community calendar. Secondly, we need to encourage our communities out there to form groups. Group formation is very key in benefiting from government programs. Now government gives projects to community members who are in groups. So when we encourage them to form groups that have clear objectives and goals, they'll be able to benefit from these government programs. And not only that, we can also help these community members to benefit from government programs by encouraging them to benefit from the government programs by explaining to them the long-term benefits. So when we just say this program is there and how does it help, how does it benefit the communities, we need to give it to them and we need to clearly explain to them how this project that has come on board will benefit them. So we have some examples of the projects that are currently running in the local governments.
What are some of these examples?
Yes, thank you. We have Youth Livelihood Project that is benefiting the youth from aging from 18 to 30 years, and that preferably come from the same village because it is a soft loan that government gives to these youth groups. So they are actually supposed to co-guarantee each other, and they are supposed to get a recommendation from their LC1, so that must there be any delay or anything that goes amiss amidst them, maybe one or two of them leaves the group, others will be able to explain to the stakeholders where their colleagues have gone. And second, we have also OWEP. OWEP is the Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Project. This is meant for women entrepreneurs. Why women entrepreneurs? It's also a soft loan that we feel women who are already in business can be able to pay back the soft loans, because within 12 months of repayment, the loan is paid without interest. Same with the youth livelihood. Youth livelihood, within 36 months of repayment, it's without any interest. But if the bracket is done, the money that remains with the youth group, there will be an interest of 5% levied. And so with OWEP, with the women entrepreneurship, their age bracket is from 18 years to 65 years of age. It's also a soft loan, and it has got an interest of 5%. So if they pay it within 1 year, there will be no interest. But after 1 year, there will be that interest of 5%.
What is the process of getting this loan?
Yes, this women group, I already said these people have to be in a group. They have to form a group and be registered at the sub-county. But for women entrepreneurship, it's not necessary that they should first register. But as long as they are in a group and they know each other, just like the YLP, the community development officer will take them through and help them generate a project for them. But it should be a demand-driven project, a project of their own, because others go for businesses that may not suit them. So it's advisable that we go by their demand, what they feel they can best do to pay back this loan. The best business that they feel they can do is always advisable that we write a proposal for them using that interest. But they first express an interest. There are interest forms that come to the sub-counties. So once they are mobilized and sensitized on the projects, they express interest. After expressing interest, there is a process called selection of the groups. The community development office and then goes to the community for a community meeting and then selects those who are willing to benefit from this. And from there, they can be given application form. But then the community development officer has to help them in filling the application form, and there are also other forms. But there's also after which there's appraisal. They have to be appraised if truly they meet the criteria for accessing these loans. Yes.
So this project has to be for a group, not as an individual.
Exactly. It's for groups, okay? It's for a group because we believe if it is given to an individual, it will not benefit many. This is like a national cake, like the OEP and the YLP. So it is given in a group and it's easier to manage. And groups of 10 to 15, though the new guideline has revised it to 5, actually, 5 to 15. Now, from last financial year, projects have been raised for people in groups of 5. Even youth, 5. Women, 5 members can access this, but not for individuals.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. That is Abaro Stella, the District Community Development Officer, Maracha District. Now, another female in the studio is the Chiru Harriet. Harriet, she is the community member for Tara. Sub-county. What do you think, as a community member, is hindering participation of the community in planning and budgeting process?
Thank you, moderator. Thank you, listeners. I have several factors that hinder community participation in planning. One is lack of awareness of their rights. You find many of these communities are not aware of their rights to participate in planning. 2, lack of involvement of the community members. You find at district level, at government programs, people talk of technical staff, not forgetting that the communities can participate, they can make a decision in this planning process. 3, we have lack of decentralization. For communities, this planning process needs to be brought down to the village. But you find they allocate planning at a parish level, which may not happen. But they talk of planning for the communities. Lack of decentralization hinders participation of community members. 3, we have lack of mobilization. Community members are not mobilized for such planning process.
Okay. This is all fine. Good enough. We have the sub-county chief in the studio. So, Mr. Arubako Kenneth from Oleba, you've heard of all these that have been put forward. So, please, can you give us your view on this? You're most welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, listeners. We are talking about the planning process. When we are talking about that, we mean these are the steps the local government takes to develop budgets and work plans to guide future activities. Through this process, the government may develop documents like the 5-year development plan, the annual budgets and work plans, operation and maintenance plans, among others. The local government process is a cycle that starts
from July, and by the next July, a new one begins. So it runs all through, and therefore it's continuous. Because in July, we give feedback to the communities on budgets that have already been made, meaning that we give feedback on completed projects and those that have been approved for funding and implementation. At that level also, we review and analyze the performance of the previous year. In the month of August, we do consultations at the village level, where the village members must participate in the planning process. We are aware that the decentralization gives the local people the power to participate in decisions that directly affect them. Completing at the village, we move to the parish level, where the village proposals are prioritized for the coming financial year. Upon completing the planning at the village and parish level, this document is taken to the sub-county level, where prioritization is done by ranking the most pressing issues. Once this is ranked by the technical people, a budget conference is organized to get a wider consensus on the priorities that have come from the parish. Upon that, the local government or the sub-county takes into consideration the inputs of the budget conference and forwards the unfunded priorities to the district for funding consideration and also for integration into the district plans and budget. Once this is done, in the month of November, the sub-county begins preparing the sector budget framework paper for the coming financial year, which is also to be discussed by the sector committees and the executive committee. By December, this document should be ready to be laid before the council. And in January, the document is further scrutinized, and by February, it has to be approved. In March, the process of budgeting, that is preparing the budget and the work plan, starts, and it has to be laid before the council by the month of April. And in May, not later than May, the budget and work plan for the coming financial year has to be approved, such that it is ready for implementation by 1st of July. So we see that the planning process is continuous, and immediately after approval, 1st July, the budget is effective for implementation and the new planning process begins. Thank you.
You're welcome. Listener, if you just joined, you're listening to Radio Pacis 94.5 FM, Peace of Christ for All. We're for a talk show, and I have guests from Maracha District talking about a project here, and of course we have guests as well from PICOT, and together with the others who are from CEHURD here, talking about budgeting, actually community participation in budgeting process. Yes, the lines are now open. You can call and ask your question or have your comment. As Kenneth was explaining, there were calls here, but I never wanted to interrupt you. So now, listener, you can pick up your phone and dial 07-9321-222 2162 and 0393273232. And then the SMS line is 07889564 and 94. But as we expect the calls, let's have a brief translation in the local language of what has been said. Yes, Stella, you can take over.
Thank you, listener. We have been mengaki ionze obi pima gerka obi ni chozu eyo ini otita ini ivu dale ki dizu oru abani ochozo ki suzura ri modria ayo data kini ama edo otita di oti village levels village ale akade village ale so otita di otibo ekede amani afaini le gamete me de ni reki di amani kyolu kake di amani kyolu bo amadi ki otiva akade otita di ki otibo amadi vini ki di Parisia RC amadiri Paris Development Committee skipe LC skipe LC2 skipe dra amadevini do otitade nya obi azidi kipe akade otitade ede ni to ye azinga zudunia Parisia dare ede ba ene to azinga zudunia kori ba di dringwa sub county ya
otita imini association zudunia da adan project adovore
otita di ndondo ama otitoti aziria yidria nzeladria amotitoti alata mayokidria amotitoti onitadria amazin sivini otitadi oti afade ndondo project afaze agrikita enile ta danse kamete makwe mazaen maliara di madria azindi afaze bani ye komi grupu pini dile ba ye di ni oda ikimadria
efene yo male mense diare yufu ikia tada ya zikita dia okuiki ngone wara ale ito ne sagale kilili
amotitauti hanzinyire oyufu ini amotitoti okuinira amotitoti ba mbazainira amotitoti ba atozainira amavini otitoti di ba zi age bracket azedi inera asini amani tadi yonde so project himodri antontontondo ile ani amani di yori otita di amani ne etoro zinga Parisia dararki ki dawi Parisia ni ne eto dande e okotere irdi dramani ngwa sub county ni devini mure devini yodi malenya devini ivore keuti ne dine askunsa fare disas decentralization dite gamete orulero disas yodi ba me do riva eroku top bottom outitano roku oru valero faseri do verditu dialero so kadesa sub county arabo amani to sub county se bani to erarke badiki du amani to dikur din amkonde peterke amadevini ki dingwa district bade banonfe unfunded priority rudlerke itakin dade sub county ni to yakurke dade district ni to amaza kozo nirke amadiki di district ni to durar kir devini kidu ernesto ne ima edike di ministry da la londondo ni maarke devini tini kepe dialero badiasini amaza kodale
efini ma project azika na kwa ma group azima autita azika adikani anvu yazoa kana doani akasentele yani amadi adiye efini autita disuzi mevo
ekasente ne amadi imi group ne ekaufuba yufurure ke yani ama otitari ko vanvu madria ama project azi anvu nirkitse gamete service ma center azi bavine ba unvela CDD for organized groups center azi gamete anitse eri DDEG district discretionary and equalization grant ni center ama adansi kaliaziri tora ludriare erimu obe masakozu ekade ovu otozaru group ekade eleta anvu mafaye eyonde ni ani okwande pindare media mani fe bani bamani mingwa sub county ara badi miningoni ro emini mi registerzu sub county ara atirse
sabe register lingisi
sub-county alaluma council ni evu group register azuri bandondo azirki alfu mudri niri azirki menela alfu kaliri ama vule district ya dari group pini bani ki register zo bani lazuki ni district ya era alfu kaliri ni toy. So eminita dovu zo sub-county ya dari si baka di minibo ama deveni agu obe madritepi kala angwe izoza sere da de baba nonve community development officer ama devini iyo di revo mezodria eridimu eridido obe de kyoto rede kasa ike de ma otota ivule kwisela sere eridine otoke de ira ide aleni andri kadi aleni andri kadi nerakin guideline DDEG CDD for organized group for the echara DDEG guideline na kacha mazakora eridivini adie osisiara kiose eridimu eridizingwa technical planning committee as a dete ba technical piani sub-county eridio ridi ale nyada na the process bani otuzo group da otuzo eridio oto dekebo betota de ni adiera beso din ini azakoma di fera beso ba se vini lurani ko fomo azake viniti itakin simita di ozo ile rara ete da mai fede emi express di adoni interestable fomo azake definiti ba devini ma application form idele ni te ba vini muki access ba muki sekse ku solas farmers group dake imiti ke devini criteria da raya azake de yo alata niki ba muke tekese government ni decide say project ke fe group ini revenue dikunise any azakoma korea makoke vini maza azoma tutasente so ya lata vuru ba devini kinenzi dini
awari for ba sente dife anya wala ba ni dife mariru ni sente
of CDD vo ba fa DDEG vori CDD for organized groups the redenga DDEG erede dani ini loni niko ta refer for organized groups andra doria CDD bandra refelo bakire tamudin toy kilo ma group do amemune CDD da ma kako
te sade se bale baki
si bale baki group organizer ke da so vini mudin toy si sasa aka pare kalidin toy atmos but manager bo group ere be da so mudin toy si asizu kalidin toy area ma sende rife o be da ene afa koko ere loni niko da government ni da didrijo obeda mazakozu group la mazakozu kene mazoki dule dini sende da ovoni mingi ko sende randelo says sidini
leba to esekeleni ti didi miogaro ya wala di vini ndoni askeri otita da vini azir lekta enda echichile ngonle leo di mama pa esekeleni kini
miogaro di vini presidential initiative for job and wealth creation. Emiogari dini president mo du ko ernidru obe ni kene mesuki lo nyasiniri de devening a project de devening go de arore
group se
group
ya domani de jizura skoni mebo de vin group se ze de vin leso le ba chokia de mesekele kilili
exactly emiogaro de renta do so gamet president ma uko kene ele obene loni ferse riba sako VSL village savings ke ba group da ke auto vini VSL ere ma category ke bere kan mudunya zirani tatafe ba market vendors ru ba tuare ke ba mechanic ro de ke ba performing artist ke ba choza ke ba ta de private teachers piane as they produce dealers piane as the restaurant owners piane
yeah so de ba so level si mo isi fi do de wa si mi
afari ke de mingi
ba ringa de guru watia radio Pacis hello aha
mai
ben mingwa
ma te tomo Maracha
yo de so de mi bo
yo de bien vivo de pa ahora so va que se ma programa Randa kita de mazi village de village tako agwermire inho inda pirita ba ni porose sar sera da wa fa pe ya nda de kisi ano kalmal ni ya kai
Ameri mikili ko inzangare dikoru ko buasi.
Ajo ya. Yo tamale ni tumetire. Vile jesi pasi de ipini ba aki chizo ka ku grusti chizo ikari majani chia.
Aya bas.
Askuni na mani vile jesi ya ni kitu to yo. So devino bi usi ka kitabu ya bani mana ba ki puti tada andende.
Awale.
Muke.
Kyo le kyo siria va ki tia pedniara. Radio Pacis hello.
Hello. Sembra mataleto betia.
Abecha mingwa.
Ito mo fo sera.
Mese mibanga ngwa.
Ado lo fu de sera si dio de mira. Ado zinga ko pedi ni ngo fu da helse de warra.
Megata dingone.
Abi obje amutiesta CDD ngonyo bani grupu ki identify zo ba ya zako krekana dibia ngare grupu ba le zako de di type ngoke ma kiusu akiri ngose
Alfo mini amboro sa ndivindo ama toto de kasidilo azia toko Andrea Tanzarindo ha keteke ura ta atazanda zora zo da seria mani okitanga mingi. Hello.
This is Opedi Dennis, eh?
Yes, Dennis, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Arua.
Yes, please, your question or comment?
My question is,
yes?
How do we do? We take a discussion of Yano.
Okay, and don't go to be to doing a keshamita can you tell don't pay. Okay, Vance, I think he has just tuned in. He's asking for what you're talking about. It will take a lot of time to explain. Yes, okay, let's not waste time. We have 5 minutes to go. Let's respond to some of the issues chap and we summarize. Who is starting?
I'm not for sure.
I think let me start by answering the Ofode Hill. Ofode Hill is a village in Tara sub-county. Yes, Zita ba CDT di mad isupi di ki bangoler ki be sungone ro grupo di kingoler ki grupo di ki ba ki of groups that are organized. Grupo yo topi ese e masisile e sipi ese e meyo kidopi ngapi ese dalerki
dopi poraki
e dopi po akivini po e ma grupo apo azondre oneke kote ese ni ikini padria
aki body le ma dingo pika ili alua imba alua sabiti alua
ili yatili
okay spell okay
yoko ili ma ike mafaki project ini azini grupo alarke ke manganga ke self driven ta de manilen odaler
ke different banda isundo
amadelo de amadozo e mazakozo adaninga grupo isipiode ama adele alobongo na alerke grupo de ma pafu ba vini ne bane kene grupo inereke te ada odaler manikira banikira daler
ke dia zinga idoto di rikidi idibane yo biblia never kadri chibanga oba
matinga vini dopi ododore kine amanga kine kinga teli ridipe kinga dikiria grupo aya kanima grupo da stylish akiri asini akanire itayare kake well cohesed for 2 years bo amadini rao ki group azi organized ni
te bazin dezingas group malia da asko group over bala group ko len te azingas amateketi azima papa mana kitiri emere ko dezivur kichi parce que moi envers nira afamana ngar ke oro dun ke de mouth kichi
ina mane zitara ba on vidiri kilili azinta bana onzenga koneche
yes zita aziri kina dene dengo lukoti amanta project de ke juri adini dini community ya daleni ya na mani zitari ngata kijomorwa
baziki daletia
lukoti ifezuya bazikete Paris chief sikedi adi LC1 kedi adi iyo presidential initiative president modu kore tavini andra ru erneta zuru ya ba divin community primara ma ai kosi Maracha grupu president bani validate ni kini elemo sukita de atita president mo office ararki turu sukali toy. So that means CDOs ke parish chiefs ke abe o bikia zingara. So ba di afesu pikorike okoko sub-county azir kinga kiri adia ikinga miogama group ke serious isi. So kakianda we benefit kwe yani ma muki ma CDOs pivo sub-county banga mazakora mani gasi ma simu namba so je zingari amuke kwa kwani imu pivo sub-county imu mi parish chief vu azini mi CDO vu erengami azakora dini
adani zita ni ma chiro ni mingi ta bakata wasane korea especially adiru bipi au depi eriki sende yufu vu diki ngoni ba yufu mazaki kongoni yari kita ni mingi bisu yufu mabari niki yari kiko yari kibere ma anjo deriki yari obiri shitedi sa lidira bazin dialu dilo tini ombe sa de dura someone just to summarize.
Yes, thank you.
And start with your names and
my name is Ogwan Christopher. I already mentioned this before. I think the discussion has been